My name is Mary. I'm a 40-year-old housewife. My husband, Tom, is 35 years old and we are married for 5 years now. We have been living happily with just the two of us. My mother died very early, and since then, my father has raised me as a single father while he was a full-time worker. I was worried for my father that he would be alone if I get married, so even though I was dating someone, it was very difficult for me to make the decision of getting married. So every time I hesitate about getting married, he would think that I am too busy being on the internet. It was then that I met my current husband, Tom. My husband, Tom, understood that I cared about my father and even said that if I wanted to, we could live with our father when we got married. That was the deciding factor in my decision to marry Tom. My father was very happy for me when he heard that I was getting married to Tom.
I am very happy for you, Mary. I am sure that your mother is happy for you too. Don't worry about me. Mary, just think about being happy with Tom. Tom, please take care of my precious daughter as well. Please make her happy for all the hardships she had to endure since I was a single father.
Although my father had never mentioned it before, he was worried that his daughter was being turned down for marriage because she's being raised by a single parent, or that she was unable to marry because she was concerned for him. My father worked as a company employee and also managed real estates. For our wedding gift from my father, we got a new house where we lived happily. And then, 2 years ago, my father retired from work when he was 65 years old. After he retired from work, my father became less energetic and grew old. So, I started calling my father's house at a certain time every day and visited him at his home quite frequently to check on my father. When my husband's department at work changed, he started to work more overtime, and I started visiting my father's house more frequently. One day, when I couldn't reach my father when I called him at the usual time, I became very concerned and decided to go check on him. When I went there, I found my father collapsed in the bathroom. I immediately called an ambulance, but my father did not regain consciousness even after being rushed to the hospital. After being tested, he was diagnosed as cerebral hemorrhage, and we decided to hospitalize him. I went to visit him every day, but my father passed away without waking up and regaining consciousness. I arranged his funeral and other formalities, even though it was very hard and sad for me to see my father off. The wake and the funeral were held within my family, but relatives who were after the assets swarmed us like hyenas, saying that they had been promised to be given inheritance by my father, which made this situation very difficult and hard on me. However, thanks to the fact that my father had left a solid will in my name, I was able to inherit all of his estate, including his savings and real estate. This will made my heart filled with love for my father even after his death. At the time, I had no idea that there will be more harder times than this. My husband, Ben's family, is relatively full of sensible people, but there is the one relative, my sister-in-law, Jane, who is very sloppy with her finances.
Hey, Mary. I heard you inherited a lot from your father, didn't you? Even though we are in-laws, we did become sisters, so please help me out because I actually need help.
Jane was in debt, and she was coming to me for money for some time now, even prior to my father's death. Every time she comes to me for money, I rejected the request, but since she has been very persistent recently, I am very stressed out about this. Then one day, I received an invitation letter which was addressed to me. The invitation letter was about the high school reunion. When I was contemplating about RSVPing to the reunion, that's when Tom approached me.
Honey, why such a stern face?
I have a reunion coming up, but my father just passed away and I don't really feel like going to it.
You should go to change your mood. I know you're very sad, but your father won't be happy if you keep on just moping around.
That is true. Since Tom recommended, I have decided to attend the reunion. Then, the day of reunion came. I was enjoying conversation with my old high school friends I hadn't seen in a long time. When I went to get a new drink and was alone, one of my old classmates approached me.
Hey, Mary. Long time no see.
Hey. I'm sorry, have we met?
Yes, we have met. Don't you recognize me? I'm Josh, your old classmate.
Even when he told me his name, I still couldn't remember him, but he seems to definitely remember me.
Why don't we catch up?
When I didn't know what to do,
Mary, what's going on? Did you get my Coke?
Jessica questioned me. Thanks to her, I said, "Sorry, my friend is waiting on me, so I should go." And I was able to leave him behind. When I returned, Jessica looked worried.
Hey, Mary, is everything okay? Did he say or do something to you?
We were just talking a little bit. He said he was Josh, but I don't recall any Josh. Do you know him?
Yeah, he's that preppy guy who was the captain of our basketball team. He was the heartthrob who was very athletic and was good looking.
Oh yeah. Since he changed his hairstyle and we didn't have anything in common back then, I didn't notice him.
You better watch out for him. He's still known to be fooling around. Since he has been checking you out today, maybe he caught your attention.
No way. I am married now and I don't look like his type to fool around. Even though I scoffed off what Jessica was telling me, Josh kept on trying to talk to me. So every time Josh would get close, I would try to talk and look busy with other people, but when the reunion was about to end, he got the chance to talk to me.
Mary, are you trying to avoid me? If you are, I am hurt. Or are you trying to play hard to get with me?
Oh, please. I'm not trying to play hard to get.
You shouldn't be mad. I'm just playing with you.
What are you talking about? I am happily married.
There are plenty of people who still have fun even if they're married. You know what? To tell you the truth, I actually liked you for a very long time, Mary. Since we have a lot to catch up, why don't we just have a drink after this?
No way. If you want to drink, why don't you go to the after party with everyone for it? I was able to cut him off and catch a taxi to return home. I thought I will never see Josh ever again. However, more outrageous situation was awaiting for me after this. The next day, when I was working at the diner for my part-time job, a man I have seen before has entered the diner. I got a glass of water to wait on him when I realized it was Josh who came to the diner. What are you doing here?
Wow, what a coincidence. I am very lucky to see you here, Mary.
Are you kidding me? Who did you find out from that I was working here?
First, can you get my order? I would like to have 1 cup of coffee.
I reluctantly took the order and served him his coffee. After finishing this coffee, just leave.
It says I can have seconds for free. Let me enjoy my time here.
After drinking and finishing his 3rd coffee while talking to me, he finally decided to pay. I was very relieved when he was finally leaving, but Josh didn't take the hint and told me,
I like this place. I will come to get my coffee here more often now.
After he said this, he left the diner. Since I was just a part-time worker at this diner, I couldn't ban him from coming to the diner, and from that day, he started to come to the diner every day. I talked to my boss about it, but since Josh was just talking to me and wasn't causing any trouble, he couldn't do anything about it. I wanted to tell Tom about it too, but lately he has been very busy with work that I couldn't tell him about Josh. Some days later, I had a day off from my part-time job. Since I didn't have to see Josh's face because of my day off, I was very happy. But then, when I returned from my shopping, I was very shocked.
Mary, welcome back. You were gone for a very long time.
Josh was in front of my house. Why are you in front of my house? How did you find out where I live?
Because we're soulmates. I know where you are.
Stop freaking me out and please leave.
You are cold-hearted. You should choose me instead of your husband, who is always not at home because of work all the time. I will and can give you good times.
As he said that, Josh hugged me from behind. A chill ran down my spine and I couldn't take it anymore of this from Josh. I found myself pushing Josh away. Then, a few days later, on a rare occasion of when Tom was at home, my sister-in-law Jane came to visit. Tom said,
"We need to talk."
and had a very serious face with Jane beside him.
I had the feeling that you were acting very weird after that reunion and then realized you are seeing someone else, aren't you?
Huh? What are you talking about?
Don't pretend you don't know what we are talking about. We have evidence.
Jane got out an envelope, which she turned upside down in front of me. Then, from the envelope, tons of photos of me and Josh pictured together fell. The pictures of us together at the reunion, and the pictures of us together at the diner. And also the picture of Josh hugging me right in front of my house. Only from looking at the pictures, it seemed that I was having an affair with Josh.
See, this is the evidence. I am getting divorced with you. Pay the alimony of $50,000 all at once.
Tom and Jane are grinning when he said this and made it obvious that they are trying to frame me to get a divorce with me. I pretended to not know anything about them trying to frame me and decided to divorce Tom. Fine. As you say that you have the evidence, let's get a divorce. You can rest assured that alimony and property division will be taken care of. To my words, Tom and Jane looked at each other smiling. I have no intention of letting them go off the hook so easily. From here on, they will pay for what they have done to me. Oh yeah, what I inherited from my father won't be the subject to property division.
What?
Tom and Jane was stunned when they heard this. It was Tom who came to his senses first.
Why not? You're supposed to split all the money earned after marriage equally.
That's right. If it is the money earned by working during the marriage, we should split it equally because we cooperated. But the property I inherited from my deceased parents wasn't acquired through the cooperation of you, was it? The property I inherited is called separate estate, which is not the subject of splitting it equally. Didn't you know? That's too bad, since you were only just after my inheritance.
What?
Do you want to know why I know this? Josh, who is in all of these photos, told me everything. The day Josh came to my house, I called the police on him. He was warned by the police, and after that, very next day, he got scared and he came back to see me.
I am very sorry. Jane, my coworker asked me to flirt with you.
Josh got down on his knees to apologize and started to talk about everything he knew. To my surprise, Jane was the coworker who had asked Josh to do so. When Jane heard about the reunion from Tom, she asked Josh,
Hey, Josh, are you attending the same reunion as Mary is attending? If So, could you set a honey trap on her for me? If my brother can get a divorce from Mary, then Tom will get property division, and if all goes well, you will get your share for helping us out.
By promising his share, Jane was sure that Tom and I will get a divorce. Because Josh wanted some money, he started flirting with me, and Jane tried to take pictures of that. That's how they got the fake evidence photos and tried to get money out of me.
Hold on. I told Josh to flirt with you? Where's the evidence of that? You're the one who's making up everything, aren't you?
Jane denied everything. Oh, I have evidence. Look at this. Then I showed my screen of my smartphone. I actually saved the screenshot of the conversation of Josh and Jane on WhatsApp. And I also have the screenshot of Tom and Jane's conversation on WhatsApp. The conversation included such as,
I was very surprised. I didn't expect that I would bump into you in front of the Holiday Inn.
Me too. Please don't tell Mary about this.
Of course. You too. Please don't tell Brad about the guy you saw me with.
Sure.
By the way, the woman you were with is so pretty. Tell me how you met her.
She is from my department, and I work with her. I met her at my work. We're together every day, and I can't be happier.
You are with her every day. How can you be so blatantly cheating on Mary and not get caught?
If I tell her that I am working overtime, Mary won't ask me anymore, and since she loves her father too much, she's always at her father's house. Since her father passed away, she has been moping around the house and I can't stand her.
Hey, you are talking behind her back too much, aren't you?
Actually, I am thinking of divorcing Mary and getting remarried to her.
I see. Hey, I have a good idea. Why don't we frame Mary to cheat on you? Put a honey trap on her. Even if Mary doesn't actually cheat on you, we can make it look like she's cheating in the photos, and then it is all ours. Let's get both alimony and the division of property.
when Tom and Jane saw the screenshot of their conversation, they panicked.
Why do you have that?
Tom, who's the other woman? Jane, you are engaged to Brad but is still seeing someone else. Just because you both are cheating, do you think I would also cheat?
Give me your phone. Delete it at once.
Tom tried to take the phone away from me. Oopsie! My hand slipped.
No way. My father?
What? Oh my god! Hurry up! Hurry up and cancel the photos she has sent to him.
They were both rushing, trying to cancel what I have sent to the father-in-law, but before they could do so, my father-in-law saw and read what I have sent. When Tom and Jane found out that I accidentally sent the screenshots to their father, they turned pale. Then right after that, my father-in-law, Ben, has called me on my phone.
Tom, it's your fault, so you should pick up the phone.
No way, Jane. You're the one who came up with this plan, so you should take the responsibility and pick up the phone.
Tom and Jane was pushing the phone around between them. In the end, Jane said,
You should do something about it,
and returned my phone to me. I picked up the phone and explained everything to Ben. That evening, a family meeting was to be held at Ben's house. Of course, Tom and Jane was scolded and punished by their parents.
Both of you cheated, and trying to blame your wife for cheating when she didn't. I can't believe this. I am very embarrassed by you two. We owe Mary's father a debt of gratitude for all the help he gave us all of the years we needed. How dare you repay that favor by doing such horrible things?
My mother-in-law, who is usually very calm, is looking at her children like as if they are pieces of filth, and Ben was just very angry with them. In fact, my father and my father-in-law had a long business relationship, and my father always helped Ben when he was in trouble. Ben turned to me and bowed deeply.
Mary, I apologize for my children for causing you such trouble. I have no words to express how sorry we are.
Since Ben urged me into it, I decided to file a claim for alimony to Jane, Tom, and Josh. However, even though we were still discussing divorce and alimony, my husband packed his bags and left, and wasn't able to reach him by phone. When I asked my in-laws about the whereabouts of Tom, they didn't know where he was, but I had a feeling of where he was, so I hired and requested an investigator to find him. Then, it turned out that Tom was crashing at his co-worker's house, who he was having an affair with. I was just stunned. So, I decided to send the photos of him having an affair with a co-worker to the workplace and also demanded Tom for the alimony. This made Tom and his mistress's position in the company worse, and my husband was sent away to a department which was for like an outcast. Since the mistress was a temp worker at the company, she got laid off quickly. The company who sponsored her as a temp worker was reported of this also. While having Tom being investigated, I also investigated about Jane and found out that she was seeing not one, but 2 other men. I told this to Brad, Jane's fiancé, and his family, so they filed her for her unfaithfulness. Of course, Brad and Jane is not engaged anymore. Brad requested for alimony from Jane. After that, Tom and Jane were so distressed that they cried to their parents, but they did not help them and just disowned them. When Tom and Jane just tried to frame me, they didn't expect that things will take wrong turns for them. And thanks to my lawyer, I was able to finalize my divorce. While I felt that it was finally over, I also realized that now that my father had passed away, I was now alone. I thought I would be lonely, but thanks to my friends who knew about what was going on encouraged me. And thanks to my former in-laws who cared and took care of me, I am surprisingly having a good time. Every once in a while, my ex-husband, Tom, would call and say,
You were and are the one. Let's get back together.
He would say such nonsense to get back with me or to borrow money from me, so I ignored his calls. Every time he would message me, I send the screenshot of the messages to Ben. Then, Ben will scold and punish Tom about it. I don't think Tom hasn't learned. Maybe Tom doesn't even have the brain to learn. Since then, Josh doesn't show up to my diner anymore, and since now I am single and not dependent to anyone, I decided to work as a full-time worker. From now on, I will work harder than ever while managing the assets my father left me.